Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. Welcome back to my home. My home garden in Long Island, New York, gardening zone 7A. I know that this week's heat wave has taken a toll on many of you, my fellow home gardeners, not only mentally, but physically as well, which is why in today's video, I'm not going to cover one, not even 5, but 10 gardening mistakes which we must avoid at all costs when gardening in hot temperatures or during a heat wave. So for those of you looking for their online gardening channel, which offers tips, tricks, easy yet proven gardening advice to take your home garden to the next level, don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around with me today. Start with going below this video and clicking the subscribe button. If you do enjoy the content of my videos, if you find my videos to be useful, helpful, informative, in absolutely any way, click the bell icon as well. YouTube will send you notifications every single time I'll upload a new garden video. Now come with me, let's get gardening. That first mistake to avoid when gardening in a heat wave, that mistake is avoid overwatering your crops. During a heat wave, less is more. Instead of giving your plants a daily sprinkle, try giving your plants a good soak every 1 day to 2 days. How do we know if our plants do indeed need more moisture? Another watering round. The rule of thumb is touch the soil around your plant's root system. If the soil feels damp to the touch, you know you've done your job absolutely right. That second mistake to avoid during a heat wave, that mistake is watering at the wrong time of day. Specifically watering in the middle of the day. That is probably the worst mistake that us home gardeners can make during a heat wave or during hot air temperatures. The best time to water our crops, our plants, our vegetables, our flowers is during early morning hours, more specifically between the hours of 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. before the sun gets too hot right over our heads. The next good time to water is late evenings. However, if you had to choose between the early morning and the late evening, I highly recommend early morning. Why? Because your plants will have that time to dry up all that excess moisture. By watering late evening, you are in a way risking root rot, fungal disease, or death of your plant altogether, as that extra moisture might pool in around the root system or stay on the foliage of your plants. And during cooler air temperatures and nighttime, your plants don't have enough time to get rid of that excess moisture, hence resulting in root rot, fungal bacterial diseases, or your plant dying all together. So I do recommend watering early mornings when the temperature is still on the cooler side, between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. Is that third mistake to avoid when gardening in a heat wave. That third mistake is to forget or neglect to protect the soil in our home garden from the heat and the bright sunlight. I know that soil temperature is probably the last thing on our mind. However, if we expose the soil to very high temperatures, the heat, it can and most likely will impede the crops or the plant's ability to absorb not only water, but nutrients as well. What's the best way to shade the soil in our home garden? That is adding at least 2 inches of natural mulch, straw, undyed bark, dried grass clippings, as long as have been not treated with pesticide or herbicide. Dry leaves, even dry pine needles will all do the trick. Fourth mistake to avoid when gardening in a heat wave is leaving our containers in bright, direct, hot sunlight all day long. Sun will cause not only damage to the foliage of your plant by making the leaves turn from bright green to yellow-brown color. It can also cause and lead to the death of the blooms as well. You could see right over here that this container was unfortunately left in full bright sunlight during this heat wave, which has indeed caused visible damage not only to the foliage of this plant as well as the blooms as well. all of my beautiful aster blooms have dried up and unfortunately fell off. So I learned this mistake the hard way, unfortunately, and I want to help you guys prevent this mistake from happening to you. One great thing about container gardening, growing flowers, crops in containers, is that we can move these containers from hot, direct bright sunlight to a shadier, cooler location during the hot hours of the day. Once the sun starts to set, the air temperature starts to cool down, we can relocate these containers to their permanent full sun location. Take those extra 2, 3, 4 minutes to protect your container grown crops. Fifth mistake to avoid when gardening in a heat wave. That mistake is not to mow our grass or lawn too short. By cutting our grass too short, not only are we exposing the soil to hot air temperatures and humidity, we're also risking evaporation. So try to mow your lawns more frequently, at least twice per week, and raise that blade higher on your lawn mower. Is that mistake number 6 that us home gardeners must avoid at all costs during a heat wave? That mistake is panicking if our lawn starts to turn brown or beige in coloring. With the air temperatures going up, with the humidity going up, it's okay if our lawn starts to go from bright green in color to having brown or beige spots like I have right over here. Just like us humans, as well as many other tender plants, our lawns get very stressed out during a heat wave. Hence, they go into a dormancy phase or a sleeping period. However, there's a very clear difference between dormant and dead. No reason to run and grab a hose or turn on that sprinkler system. Let your lawn be. If you wake up one morning and the air temperatures are 90 degrees and above and the humidity is up as well, you come out to all of a sudden see beige spots or blotches throughout your lawn. No need to run and grab the hose, my fellow home gardeners. No need to run and activate your sprinkler system either. There is a very clear difference between the grass being dormant or sleeping, or your grass unfortunately being dead. There is one easy way to test if your grass is dormant because it's stressed out from the heat, or unfortunately it died. All you have to do is use your fingertips. You find the beige spot and you pull on the grass. If you see that the grass is still intact at the root level, your grass is simply sleeping due to the high temperatures and high humidity. If you pull on that grass and it comes out hollow, straw-like, unfortunately, your grass is dead. I am standing in my front yard right now, and as you guys could see, majority of my grass is nice and green in color. Deep green, which is exactly what we want to be seeing. However, with the air temperatures being in the upper 90s and humidity levels going above 90%, some of the grass in my front yard has started to unfortunately change color from bright green to beige, and you could see it right over here. Even after seeing some spots on my front lawn change from green color to beige, I'm not panicking, I'm not freaking out, nor am I running to turn on my sprinkler system. Why? Because I already took those 30 seconds to check if my grass is dormant or dead. Just because the grass is now beige in color compared to the bright green doesn't mean that it's dead. All you have to do is use your fingertips and gently tug on the grass. If it's not coming out straw-like, hollow, and you could see that it's still attached to the roots, this simply means that your grass is stressed out from the heat and the humidity and went into the dormancy period. The second next rainfall will come around, or as soon as the air temperature starts to cool down, your grass will go back from beige to bright green color naturally. Brings me to that seventh mistake that us home gardeners must avoid at all costs, especially during a heat wave. That mistake is fertilizing our lawns when we start to see yellowing or beige patches on our grass. Feeding the lawn means that your grass will be eager to grow even more, hence seeking more moisture and more resources. Also, fertilizing during a heat wave, you are risking burning your grass or your lawn all together. Wait till the heat wave passes, then you can fertilize your lawns. Eighth mistake to avoid when gardening during a heat wave or during hot summer month is planting new flowers or shrubs in our home gardens. During dry, hot summer days, our home gardens might start to look empty and or boring, which makes many of us run off to a local garden center, big box store, even a nursery, and to start purchasing new flowers, new shrubs to fill in those gaps or dead spots in our gardens. However, by digging the soil now, by making a planting hole, not only are you raising the temperature of that soil, you are also risking evaporation, the loss of moisture. If you want your newly purchased plants, shrubs, flowers to thrive, wait to plant them. Leave them be in their existing containers like I'm doing right over here. I'm waiting for the air temperature to start cooling down before I plant the stunner in the soil of my home garden. That ninth mistake to avoid when gardening during hot summer days or during a heat wave is transplanting or planting tender plants. I have multiple plants right over here that I am waiting on to plant. Why? Because the air temperatures have been above 90 degrees Fahrenheit and our humidity levels have been 90% and above. Plants, regardless of what they are, already under stress when being planted or transplanted. Each plant will go through some sort of a transplant shock. That shock will only be greater during a heat wave or during extreme hot summer days. I have a beautiful blackberry right over here that I got on a clearance rack at my local big box store. I have this tall, beautiful fig tree right over here as well that I purchased at my local big box store clearance rack as well. Look at all the beautiful baby figs on it, which is only another reason why I'm waiting to transplant it. I don't want to shock these new crops to the point where the foliage will start to die off, the fruits will start to drop, or the entire plant can die on me. I'm going to wait another few days. I'm going to keep a close eye on those air temperatures, and the second they start to decrease, I'm going to transplant these beauties into the soil of my home garden. 10th mistake to avoid when gardening during a heat wave. That mistake is trimming or pruning our existing plants or shrubs in our home gardens. When you prune or trim your plant, it's telling the plant to grow more actively, to put on new foliage and new growth. That is a huge stress to any plant, any crop in our home garden. The plant is already stressed under the high heat, high humidity. So you never want to prune or trim your plants during a heat wave, hence giving them even more stress than they've already been in. Wait, allow those air temperatures to cool down before you come out there with your pruning shears and start to prune or trim the crops. This is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My home garden in Long Island, New York. In today's video, we spoke about 10 mistakes to avoid when gardening in hot weather or during a heat wave. For those of you who enjoyed the content of today's video, if you found today's video to be useful, helpful, informative, in absolutely any way, show me that support by clicking thumbs up below. Leave your comments in the comment section as well. I person read each and every single one of your comments and respond to each and every single one of you. For those of you who haven't yet subscribed to my gardening channel, Gardening Cold Spring Harbor, what are you waiting for, guys? Super easy for you to do, super pleasing and rewarding to me. Just go below this video and click the subscribe button. If you want YouTube to send you notifications every single time I'll upload a new video, click the bell icon as well. Stay healthy, happy, be well, each and every single one of you. And happy gardening, guys. And I'll see you again in my new upcoming garden videos. Bye, guys.